Neville Goddard says to turn your back upon the past, regardless. My name is Mr. 2020, and I want to welcome you to the free Neville Goddard podcast. Neville Goddard says, put the past behind you. Do not look back and become like Lot's wife, who turned into a pillar of salt, which is a preservative. You always put what you want to preserve in brine. If you turn back and dwell upon the state you want to leave behind, you will have placed it in brine and will become it once more. But if you will turn your back upon the past, regardless of what you have or have not done, and stretch forwards to what you want to be or do, and remain faithful to your desire, nothing can stop you from achieving it. There's a hidden lesson in this quote. And you guys in manifestingmasterycourse.com, you will notice that we dive into this in some very subtle, cool ways. Stretch forward to what you want to be or do, and remain faithful. A lot of people miss that stretch part. When you stretch something, you change its shape, you change its size. It all begins with you turning your back upon the past, regardless of what you have or have not done. But it's the second to the last word, which is where the power is here. Listen to this. Nothing can stop you from achieving it. See, there's this glorious feeling that comes from achieving something, from accomplishment. There's this glorious feeling that comes from achieving, from accomplishment. And it is very different than the feeling of regret. You don't have the time to beat yourself up. You don't have the time to keep having regrets and remorse about what you did or didn't do. You honest to God need the attitude of Abdullah to rule in this instance. Neville says, put the past behind you. So many people are teaching to ignore 3D reality. Here's what I notice every time I work with a client live, and they say, I'm trying to ignore 3D reality, I watch how they move, I watch how they gesture, I watch what their eyes do. This is old school neurolinguistic programming. And I notice they experience being very small in a very big 3D reality. And I tell them, here's your job. There's this thing called the past. You put it behind you. You do not look back. You see, that's procedural. That makes a difference. That is actually something that you can do. You can take this thing called the past, and you can put it behind you and not look back. The way that you don't look back is by stretching forward to what you want to be or do. And when you stretch forward, remain faithful. If you got gold today, go to NevilleGoddardStore.com. You've got to remember, a podcast is a podcast. These are pseudo-random ramblings, pseudo-random goodness. Whatever's on my mind, that's what shows up here. You can imagine the power of a course, of a training, of a pack. We put together those little power packs, the little courses, the trainings like ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. We put them together for a reason. We call them deep dives. Because you can stick your toe in the pool and it feels nice. Right? You can stick your toe in the swimming pool or the ocean and it feels nice. But it's nothing compared to diving in and swimming. And that's nothing compared to going scuba diving. God, I remember when I got scuba dove. So I scuba dove. I got certified in scuba diving. And it's a completely different world. I can promise you that. Dive deeper, soar higher. Visit us in NevilleGoddardStore.com. Go get goodies. Notice what you're attracted to. And keep diving deeper. Make this your total way of life. Have a lovely day. My name is Mr. 2020, and I thank you for being you. And I thank you for choosing to give life to the lovely. The more lovely you give life to, the more lovely there is in the world. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Be blessed.